Perfect. All right. Thanks, Anne. All right. So, high level overview of Red Hat. I'm sure you've heard from us a few times already today, but I guess I'll go straight to the quote from Paul Cormier, our current CEO. Red Hat is the bridge from the open source communities to the commercial world or enterprise world. And this concept has always been core to our foundation. Of course, we foster and essentially are the leading provider of enterprise open source solutions community approach, certainly delivering high performing Linux, cloud, and container Kubernetes technologies. And we're helping to customize and provide standardized access to environments for developing cloud native applications and integrating, automating, and providing secure managed environments. And we definitely provide support and training and other consultative services. Thinking a little bit beyond that, however, we do have a couple of main products that you've probably heard of. Red Hat Enterprise Linux, OpenShift, and Ansible are probably some of our most well-known, but we do have 30 additional products spread across Linux platform, application services, virtualization platforms, cloud computing, storage, automation, management, and services. Carrying right along, open. You're all here for open source. I'm sure you're familiar with open source as a concept, so I'll skip that piece. And how we handle it is obviously participating in the communities, powering upstream projects, contributing to code, and collaborating on content. And then we steward and mentor aspects of it. Then we integrate multiple different projects, fostering the communities and platforms themselves. And we work in multi-organizational projects with partners or other industry recognized standards. And then we take that back, we create a standardized, enterprise ready, commercialized version of these platform or projects and bring it all together in a rich ecosystem of services. Um, Again, kind of moving right along, we do have a fantastic culture, and that's one of the best things about Red Hat, I would say, is Red Hatters freely exchange viewpoints and contribute to ideas, open source, and have a lot of different activities internal to Red Hat, whether they're Dni communities or external partnerships with various different organizations. Um, we really like to highlight our freedom to contribute, the courage and the ability to express our thoughts and opinions, and the commitment to see things through. And of course, we hold ourselves accountable to the customers and our communities that we take part in. Um, and then this is just a high level overview of all of our diversity and inclusion communities. And then I'll kind of go back to our different product areas because, in general, we're hiring for just about everything. Every type of position you could think of, from software engineering, quality engineering, DevOps, networking, security, and then veering towards the business side, there's everything from program, product, and project management. Customer success, solutions architecture, we're really hiring for just about anything. So if you're curious, I've got some links where you can connect with us, share your contact information, and speak with some of our talent acquisition folks about open positions. Um, and I guess I'll go straight to questions because I know we have limited time. While you're coming up with some questions, I'll put the links in the chat. So that'll be where you can share some contact info with us. Um, We also have a number of different products and trials that folks can use to get an idea of what our products are and how they can contribute. And let's see. And the final link I'll share is a little bit about the emerging technologies we're working on. So any questions? Machine learning, absolutely. And you'd probably be most interested in that last link I shared, next.redhat.com. That's mostly talking about what the Office of the CTO is doing. Typically, there's a lot of roles there that are shorter stint projects, proof of concept, new features, and then they would either be seen through in a 3 month or probably no more than 2 year long project, but then integrated into other product teams. How many roles are remote? I would say just about everything is open to remote right now. Even prior to the pandemic, we had about 40 to 50% of our associates worldwide full-time remote. And post-pandemic and whatever we're going to be going through in the next couple of years, I think that number is going to shift to 60 to 70%. But right now, everybody is at liberty to work in a flexible environment. If they're close to offices, they can go in. But we are basically open to remote across the board.
It looks like you might be getting another question. Someone's typing, but if people have other roles that they want to share, like you can put them in the shared notes or into the chat, or if you got loads of things that you want to talk about that are, um, like loads of roles that you want to kind of put a little bit of a frame on, raise your hand and we can get you in here. But in the meantime, I think, Jamie, you're going to get another question. I'm not sure. So we'll give folks another couple minutes for that.
Sure. Yeah. Any questions I can, I'll cover. Favorite open source project of mine. I don't participate as much as I should, but one thing that I'm very, very proud of Red Hat for participating in is CHRIS, which is a collaboration with Boston Children's Hospital, and it's an advancement of imaging capabilities and how fast we can process. I believe it was CAT scans, but it might have been MRIs. But the acronym for that project is CHRIS. We also absolutely do have research. On the research side, it's primarily done in our Open Innovations Lab, which is primarily centered in Boston, but you would be able to contribute to all that in a remote setting as well. Open has taught me quite a bit. I would say from a collaboration perspective, open, I think, is the future, where everyone has access to the same code base, has the transparency to understand the working fundamentals, and has the capability to contribute in their own way. So I think open fundamentally is where everyone should be shifting their focus. Open brings the world together, and open collaboration is everything, right? I think that's why we're all here. Um, let's see. Yes, Red Hat's source is absolutely open. We contribute to a wide number of projects across CNCF and really many, many different areas. Um, I think the second link I provided has some trials, but most of those trials do stem from open source projects. If you want to see what the enterprise revision looks like in a trial, you're more than welcome to take a look at that. But I'm sure you can find the various repos on GitHub to see what the code looks like itself as well. What are the jobs that should be coming in the open space, future opportunities? I think it's going to be primarily more of the same that I was alluding to earlier. Um, Software engineering, quality engineering, DevOps, site reliability engineering. And I'm speaking mostly to the products and technology world, as that's what I primarily focus on. But we're certainly hiring across services, consulting, marketing, sales, really all disciplines. But specifically talking about engineering, I would say most in demand right now is back-end development. Most of our tech stacks require some experience with Python or Golang, depending on the team, some Java. Certainly, there's some C and C++ as well. Front end framework would be JavaScript primarily, React Redux, Node.js on occasion. On the CI/CD side, certainly Ansible, of course, but everything from Chef, Puppet, Prometheus is all very useful experiences. And then yeah, kind of veering into the security world, there's the public sector, there's the private sector. Both have various different compliances to think about. But realistically, we are hiring just about everywhere. I think cloud development is probably one of the main areas. OpenShift is growing quite a lot. Um, but yeah, any more questions or specific questions about some of those types of roles? And if we do have the time for it, I can show a little video of one of our engineers who's part of the diverse abilities community, which I'm actually chair of. That'll show a little bit of day in the life. Not sure if the audio will picked up, but if we've got the time, as I said, I can play this as well.
Yeah, I think go right ahead.
All right, hopefully the
I've been
audio
at
will
Red
carry
Hat
across.
since December 5th,
Can everyone
2011.
hear
I
this
remember
video?
that clearly because it marked a pivotal moment in my career. As a person with a disability, Red Hat is definitely one of the very few places that I worked where people did not make any assumptions as to my capacity to do my work or to collaborate with others. I've been empowered from the very beginning to do what I do best, to participate. Working for the products and technologies organization here at Red Hat definitely feels different from everything that I've ever done in the past. Innovation and collaboration is a default mode for all of us. You talk to anyone at Red Hat, you can see that they are here because they care about what they do. These are people who are fully vested in what they're working on. We get to work on the next version of a product, the next solution to a problem. What makes Red Hat different, in my opinion, is that we get to define the open source way of tackling that problem. I'm Augie Maciel. I'm a senior manager, and I'm proud to be part of Red Hat's product and technologies organization.
So that's a little glimpse into products and technology, as well as a little of what the diverse abilities community is tackling. Um, but yeah, that's kind of a high level of our thoughts on open source and some of the roles we're hiring for. Happy to answer any questions. I know we've got about 10 more minutes left. Ah, okay, just 5. I glossed over it earlier, but this is a little bit more detailed look at all the various different D&I communities we have. Culture and collaboration in community is hugely important to Red Hat. One of the things that I love most is that it's we recently heard the term doocracy, where you're empowered to do just about everything you can set your career path and sights on. Actually, when I joined 3.5 years ago, there was no community for individuals with disabilities, and it was basically put on me to start it. And here we are. We've recently launched, and we've already got a global audience of over 100 folks internally. So it's a pretty cool place that it gives you the platform and the capability to follow your career path and set your own journey. We have a center of excellence that has historical career paths where folks can take a look at someone who's come on board as an associate software engineer and potentially gone in towards product management or sales and all the different little steps along the way. And there's a lot of different continuing education and career um, growth opportunities. And I think that's one of the things that can't be understated enough about Red Hat is that it is an open, collaborative environment where your um, your ability to succeed is really kind of encouraged and given as much opportunity as possible. Sure. I think it's been shared quite a few places. That's probably a YouTube link, so I will see if I can get that in the chat. No problem. And I think on that landing page I shared earlier, there's another video about working in products and technology that's not as culture focused and a little bit more day-to-day focused. So it looks like we've got 28 or so folks in here. How many of you are looking to get into software engineering? Do you have any questions about that? Or already are software engineers? Ah, Nicole, we do. They tend to be posted June and November, and we tend to start hiring those cohorts through December and into January, and then likewise through June into July and August. Um, that's the majority of when those junior roles will probably go live. But it looks like I'm just about out of time, so I will stop sharing and I'll answer any more questions I can in the chat.
Thank you so much for joining us today, Jamie. We really appreciated hearing about all the opportunities.
Thank you for having me.